That snow word on that Wednesday graphic has me a little nervous. Thanks, John. The fight over the controversial Keystone XL pipeline continues this afternoon. Bold, Nebraska will stand in court with landowners who don't want the pipeline built on their property. Energy company TransCanada is fighting to build it. They're hoping that President-elect Donald Trump can help them finish. Now, the pipeline would run through part of Nebraska to the Gulf of Mexico. President Obama rejected the project, but Trump has made its construction a campaign promise. The case is in court at 2:30 in Wahoo. We'll let you know how it goes. Meanwhile, big news this weekend for the Dakota Access Pipeline and protesters there. This weekend, the Army Corps of Engineers refused the construction of a pipeline under a North Dakota reservoir. The leader of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe says he will, quote, be forever grateful to the Obama administration and that the pipeline developer and the incoming Trump administration, he hopes that they will respect that decision. Many protesters celebrated what they're calling a minor victory. They have been camping out in frigid temperatures.
This is the best news that I've heard forever. The best news for Native people, Native country, the whole United States, all the people, because water is so precious.
The tribe believes that the pipeline threatens drinking water and cultural sites. Now, the developer says that this decision was politically motivated. The $3.8 billion Dakota Access Pipeline is mostly done. Omaha's public schools leaders are meeting today. They will begin that process to find a new superintendent. The OPS board is holding a meeting about the search this evening. The current superintendent, Mark Evans, is retiring at the end of the school year. And scandal surrounding executive salaries at Goodwill Omaha is catching the attention of the state attorney general's office. Our partners at the Omaha World-Herald reported that the state AG is launching a review into Goodwill Omaha's operations. This comes after a Omaha World-Herald October investigation that revealed the charity's top executives have been paid much more than Goodwill's nationwide and much more than other local nonprofits. State law allows the attorney general to protect financial assets of charities. And police say a tragic accident on Saturday afternoon was caused because someone was driving too fast for the weather conditions. Miguel Ramirez and Hesbedy Rodriguez were unloading stuff from their broken down SUV on I-80 westbound to the I-480 northbound on-ramp when police say Vicente Loera's Dodge Durango hit them. Doctors had to amputate both of Ramirez's legs and one of Rodriguez's legs. A passenger in the Durango had minor injuries. Charges are pending against Loera. And now an update for you on another crash this weekend. This one was on I-29. Police say 72-year-old Ellis Bertram died after he rear-ended Officer Josh Horner of the Council Bluffs Police Department. The officer was doing traffic control inside his cruiser on I-29 near 25th Street. The patient died in the hospital. The officer was taken to Creighton's ER for treatment. And starting tomorrow, county health officials are testing about 200 Benson High School students and staff for tuberculosis. Those were being tested because they were in close contact with a Benson High School student who's now being treated for TB. And another group of Benson High School students, the JROTC cadets, well, they're on their way to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. This picture was taken at the airport right before they boarded the plane for Hawaii around 6:30 this morning. Now, the students are participating in the Memorial Parade. We caught up with the cadets on Friday. They have raised $75,000 so that they can make the trip.
I just think it's a really good opportunity for us because we're so young and we get to experience it and we get to honor those who died and fought for us.
Now, the parade that they're participating in for Pearl Harbor, that is on Wednesday. And new this midday, if you have an old TV, computer, or other gadgets, recycling electronics is getting a little bit easier. Earlier today, a new pilot program in Nebraska launched. Now, that program's put on by the Consumer Technology Association. Major electronic brands like Dell and Vizio are also behind the effort.
The basic goals of this public-private partnership are: we want to, one, increase awareness of electronics recycling amongst citizens in Nebraska.
The group did a study that showed 9 in 10 Nebraskans valued e-recycling, but only about half of those people knew where to go. And around the nation, new details are emerging this morning about the dozens of victims, most of them in their 20s and 30s, that died in a weekend fire at an Oakland warehouse. Investigators have recovered the remains of at least 36 people. And as the death toll continues to rise and the investigation intensifies, the memorials are growing. Maria Villarreal reports.
Sorting through the rubble, firefighters removed debris to look for victims. Nearby, family and friends searched for answers.
He was there with his girlfriend.
Karen West has known Micah Danemeyer his entire life and says the 28-year-old was performing that night.
We haven't heard from him through any social media or phone calls.
I don't know how many more people are left in there.
Family members have been asked to preserve items like brushes and combs to help identify the dead through DNA.
This tragedy has hit very close to home for our agency. One of our deputies that we work with lost his son in this fire.
The victims are musicians, artists, and students. 32-year-old Donna Kellogg was a barista and studying for a degree in culinary arts in Oakland, according to the San Francisco Chronicle. 35-year-old Travis Huff was a member of the Oakland electronic band Ghost of Lightning. On Facebook, his aunt wrote, "There are no words for this loss." Randy Wittenhauer needed to speak about his son Chase. The 32-year-old was bartending the night of the fire, and county officials confirmed his death Sunday night. Randy says raising Chase's stepbrother won't be easy.
Every time I see Liam, Chase is going to pop right into my mind. It feels so painful right now. In the end, maybe it will be a blessing.
The Alameda County Sheriff's Department has positively identified 11 different people. They have delivered the heartbreaking news to their families, and they continue to work with dozens of other families on identification. The coroner's office is also working to identify these victims. It is a painstaking process that could take several days. Midday Villarreal, CBS News, Oakland, California.
Our thoughts are with all those folks out there. Well, turning to something a little more lighthearted, country music superstar Blake Shelton will make his way to Omaha next year.
Yes, she's got a way with words.
Shelton will bring his Doing It to Country Songs tour to the Centurylink Center on March 18th. If you want to nab tickets for those, you can do so. They go on sale starting on Friday. And a lot of events coming to Omaha. This one is this Saturday. Hometown boxing world champion Terrence Crawford is gearing up for his next big fight Saturday at the Centurylink. Crawford will defend his junior welterweight title against John Molina Jr. Lots of stuff going on this weekend, lots of different events coming to Omaha. You know, I want to say it was late last week, we were talking about Neil Diamond coming. You got Blake Shelton, all sorts of different things.
We're a happening place.
And what better time of year to start being inside for a lot of these events?
Yeah, a lot of indoor sports are taking precedent this time of year, and the temperature is really starting to feel a little wintry as we head into the later stages of the week. We'll take a look at some of those numbers and whether or not there's any snow prospects out there as well.
You're saying you're doing this, and that makes me a little nervous, John. So
don't be nervous.
I'll make sure to get all my bundled up stuff
We're
ready.
kind of trending in the right direction right now.
Okay, so. Good to know, good to know. All right, well, if you are guilty of shopping at work, maybe you want to do some online shopping, don't worry, you're not alone. Later on this half hour, we're going to give you a look at just how many people are ditching out of work to snag a deal online. You're watching KMTV Action 3 News at midday.